Hello, everyone. I told Fable what little I know about the Iron Sultanate, but let's see if we can get some more information.
When the infidels opened the thrice cursed gate to
Yes,
Gehenna,
we were gonna
releasing the
do this a bit
God
ago, but I
Magog
sadly
upon those who
had to run
believed,
to the
it
bathroom.
seemed that all was
Yeah.
lost, and Shaitan would emerge victorious over Dunya.
Hmm.
But the creator of the universe came to the aid of the faithful, and, as had been written, the great iron wall of Du al Karim manifested itself in the lands ruled by the Sultan.
That's what makes it interesting. They say it manifested. They didn't create it, it manifested itself. A giant iron wall.
I wonder why.
They said, as was written, it manifested itself.
Mm.
Which,
Does that mean like those memes where people like say his uh his arrival was foretold and it's just a cat? Is that what they mean?
yeah, maybe. It could have been unclear.
A call was sent to those who believed righteously, and over the coming decades, the migration of all the faithful, second in importance only to the hijrah of the
They all
Prophet
moved
himself,
near the iron wall,
took place across Europa, Asia, and Africa.
calling forth all
Millions
of the
perished on the
Muslims
roads and at the sea, for the
of the Islam
heretics and their
faith.
shaitan lords swarmed them as locusts swarm fields of ripe sesame, devouring them and building vile monuments and statues from their limbs and heads, so they could not be buried as is decreed in the holy texts. But once all those who survived the journey had come, the mighty gates of Al-Karim were closed, and the great sultanate of the invincible iron wall of the two horns that pierced the sky was formed.
The great iron sultanate of the two horns that pierce the sky.
Interesting.
What does that mean? I'm just
I
like,
legitimately don't know, but
it's probably something written in maybe the Quran or something. If you guys know, tell us down below. We're very curious.
The assaults of the slaves of Jahannam against the Sultanate have never ceased since that day, and each day new martyrs are mourned as they defend the wall and confront the heretics who have overcome its defences.
They're all
But
defending
within
the
the
wall.
walls, the lost knowledge flourishes, and
Oh,
from mosques
they
of white
live
marble
in the
and
wall.
gold, the muezzin called the faithful to pray for the success of the Sultan's army as it struggles to
they're
protect
in
the
the
lands
fucking
within the
walls,
wall
man.
and defend the
How big is this wall? It makes me wonder. Like, it's
They're in
obviously a
the
wall,
walls,
but
man.
how? You know what I mean?
Well, I just want to say this real quick. I hope if they ever do scaling, like actual try to give rough estimates, please don't do the way they do with the Titans in 40K because they're so messed up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. But
caravan trails that provide the
Please, if you
Sultanate
have
with
to at
vital.
least over exaggerate the numbers, at least kind of make them realistic and stick to it and don't say this or that, please. That's all I ask.
I don't.
Trade
I
goods.
don't think they'll ever see it, but
The Iron Wall is the greatest defensive work in the world, a
So
mighty
they live
bulwark
in the wall.
festooned with the famed artillery of the Sultan. Azebs
And also
sharpshooters stand
artillery.
at the ready, ever watchful for surprise attacks.
Of course,
And the
sharpshooters.
elite janissary regiments have barracks set at intervals near the wall so they can
Janissaries.
react to any attack at speed. During a more serious incursion, a full muster of Azebs is called, and the House of Wisdom unleashes its terrifying Taquin creations upon the foe.
House of
And if the
Wisdom.
need is desperate, the Sultan himself comes forth, and his
Oh.
janissaries march with him to do battle, carrying
Oh.
the green flag of the Prophet before them. Thus, the protection of the Iron Wall has had an extensive influence on the Sultanate way of war. The conscripted Azebs are experts at feigned flight and skirmish, while the loping lines of Jabir harass the enemy flanks. All the while, the superb artillery of the Sultanate bombards the enemy as they make their torturous journey across the battlefield, littered with traps set by the skilled sappers.
Nice.
When they reach the ranks of the faithful, the janissaries, Sultan's elite household troops, close in and finish the enemy with their devastating countercharge led by the iron-willed officers. Dreaded assassins
cool.
from Almut prowl in the winds of time, striking the enemy elites and leaders, while the alchemists of the House of Wisdom unleash devastating weapons made deadly by their elemental mastery, capable
Elemental mastery and alchemists. This sounds crazy.
It really does, actually.
They unleash their monsters and whatnot, and their alchemists. It just. I don't. It's just. I'm trying to wrap my head and think about what all this means. You know
Well,
what
you're
I
just
mean?
as good as mine, bud. Yeah.
Yeah.
of overcoming the defenses of virtually any foe. Beyond the Iron Wall, forces of the Sultan operate in small, mobile companies, each with a particular mission to accomplish. They hunt down apostates that have gone to serve shaitans, look for the relics from the time of the prophets, or seek to recover lost treasures and books of knowledge from the ruins of the fallen caliphates. Though an understanding between the Church and the Sultanate on being co-belligerents against Jahannam exists,
Makes
the
sense.
commanders of these expeditions will tolerate no interference and do not hesitate
So they're
to
literally
crush
looking
those
for
who would
lost
hinder their
knowledge in
mission.
their from their destroyed
Resentment
mosques.
against the infidels who unleash Gog and Magog runs deep in the Sultanate,
Makes
and matters
sense.
of honour are swiftly resolved with duels to the death.
Oh.
Woe to those who dare to hinder the missions of those who believe.
Yeah.
The janissaries are the Sultanate's elite warriors, raised
this
from
what they look
childhood
like?
in the arts of war. Captured during raids upon the desolate northern and eastern marches beyond the Iron Wall, they are subjected to rigorous martial training and indoctrination from an early age.
Alright.
Through spiritual and alchemical means, bound by chains unseen, their minds are carefully conditioned until they attain a complete and unwavering loyalty to the Sultan, and to him
Damn.
alone. Their physical attributes are augmented by potent elixirs created by the mystic Jabirian arts. Their ornate armor is forged from the metallic formula that the alchemy of the Sultan gleaned from the very iron wall that protects the Sultanate from their enemies.
They gleaned it from the very iron wall. Does that mean the wall, like they looked at the wall and learned something from it?
Possibly? I honestly don't know any of this stuff, bud.
Maybe the wall gives them like forbidden knowledge.
The wall.
Oh my god.
These soldiers are also protected by powerful talismans crafted by the blind thaumaturgists from the school of the meteoric omen, armed with Jezeel
Like, did he say
rifles, hand
thaumaturgists?
mortars, yataghan.
They said that they're alchemists, so they're armed with all kinds of things.
Yeah, he said thaumaturgy though. That's
What's thaumaturgy?
I only know it from I only know it from from the SCP universe, but a lot of it is based in actual real stuff. So thaumaturgy is essentially magic. It's an ancient form of magic. Where you're able to do spells and stuff by bending reality to your will.
I thought that was just magic.
Well, yeah, technically, yeah.
Alright.
But yeah.
And blades and a devotion carved upon their very souls, the janissaries are formidable opponents indeed. On the battlefield, the janissaries excel at storming enemy strongpoints and trenches, crushing elite formations and acting as the bodyguard for high-ranking individuals.
Okay.
Though the Sultan uses them sparingly beyond the Iron Wall, since
Makes
they also
sense.
form his personal bodyguard, some janissaries are sent to the front line to bolster the cause of the Sublime Gate.
Alright.
In the middle of the mud, blood, and dust of the trenches, their richly decorated panoply of war creates a beautiful and frightening spectacle.
Their
as they
design
charge
is
the enemy
very
lines
beautiful, I
with
will say
total
that.
conviction.
Looks so cool.
Paradise awaits those who fall in righteous battle.
Oh!
In the fabled Sultanate of the Iron Wall, deep beneath the golden gardens of Damascus, through the cavern of the Sleeper and past the seven gates of potentiality, are the vast laboratories and metaphysical factories of the alchemists.
You heard of Fable.
Using the mysterious Jabirian process called Taquin, the alchemists are able to create artificial life and produce all manner of strange wondrous
Artificial
beasts
life.
and automatons to delight the masses of the souk and grace the gardens of the Sultan. Deeper still, in the darkest and most...
What'd you say?
Golems?
Homunculus. They said artificial life. Yeah.
Oh, you
Secret
lost.
reaches of the
Oh my
alchemy
God.
complex, past the 7 hidden gates of actuality, are the sanctums where the art and science of Takwin is honed to its most keen and deadly purpose.
Okay.
Here, they make the dreaded lines of Jabir.
Oh,
Named
I think
after
that's
the
what we're
deadly
looking at,
hunters of the
Fable.
plains, the lines of Jabir can take many forms, not all of them
Yeah.
Leonin. Each one is a unique masterwork, and they are grown according to the skills and artistry of the Jabirian scientists that created them.
Oh,
The esoteric arts
they
the
each are different.
alchemy employ are learned through study of forbidden books of Solomon, and many alchemists are killed.
Books of Solomon?
Isn't the Book of Solomon where they have all of those demons and stuff like that?
The 72 demon houses, from what I remember, yeah.
That's literally all I know is that the Book of Solomon holds the names and information about those specific demons.
Yeah. We might be thinking of something different, but yeah.
Killed when their experiments fail or run amok. However, the lions are in
Pause
desperate
it real
demand
quick,
by the
Matt.
Yeah, what is it?
I just want to say this is a disclaimer. I have very little to no knowledge of anything religious, subtext or not. So if I get it wrong, please understand. I mean no offense. But if you still get mad, even though I get this disclaimer, I will poop in your shoes. That is all.
I have some knowledge of the Islamic faith. Not as much as, honestly, I kind of wish. But yeah, this is all very interesting. Usually Islam doesn't get a lot of things in, well, media. At least not positive.
Well,
But
yeah, well, I get that, but this world, it is everyone versus the forces of
yeah,
hell, so it makes sense.
yeah, it's all the Abrahamic faiths literally coming together to fight against demons, which makes sense.
army of Sultanate, so the program continues, regardless of cost or casualty.
Oh,
Creating the lines of Jabir is extremely difficult, and there
Makes
are
sense.
endless variables to consider. Because of this, lines are often malformed in some way. Though still
Ooh.
magnificent hunters in war, their malformations often cause their existence to be one of constant physical pain and suffering.
damn.
The truly tragic cases are the lions created with human-like intelligence, who are racked
Oh.
with existential dread as they realize the horror of their unnatural origins. In battle, the lions of Jabir are deadly threats and are used as a vanguard of the host of the Sultanate.
Alright.
The Sultan himself has a hunting pack of 77 enormous lions of Jabir.
Wow.
They guard him day and night and accompany him on the battlefield. The
77 of
speed
these
and ferocity
things.
of the lions is nearly unmatched, and some even have strange powers granted by their alchemical birth. Many have armor melded with their flesh and fashioned from alchemical
That explains
metals,
the metal.
etched with cryptic seals and sigils, and richly embellished by the alchemists to hide the defects in their creations. The alchemists are the
Here
battlefield
they are,
mystics and artificers of the great Sultanate of the Iron Wall, schooled in the hidden knowledge of the legendary Smaragdin tablet within the House of Wisdom. Admission is open to any with will and intellect deemed sufficient, be they man or woman. To
Alright.
become an alchemist is no easy task. They undergo many trials on their path to mastery. First are the countless lessons of the newly initiated, studying the Jabirian corpus, translating the keys of Solomon, and learning all the fundamental disciplines of their primeval science. Only after 7 years of study,
Primeval.
under the watchful and
is
exacting
crazy,
eyes
huh?
of the High Alchemagi, is an aspirant allowed to attempt the 3 trials required for full membership in the order.
Okay.
The first trial is to create a suit of alchemist's armor which protects against harm.
Okay.
This is an essential tool of their craft, festooned with the seals of Solomon, which enables them to bend the elements of creation to their will and shields them even from the devices of hell.
Wow.
Next, they must create a Takwin servant, a homunculus creature of artificial life and intellect. If the candidate manages to follow the complex formula, as well as the intricate timing and temperature requirements, the creature will emerge after 40 days of toil. It
Oh.
will act as the alchemist's living tool of creation, for their hands have fine motor skills well beyond even the nimblest craftsman. Vaguely shaped like a small human, it can change the consistency of its body to an almost liquid-like slime to
Oh.
squeeze into
Ew.
alchemical chambers to do their master's bidding in extreme temperatures and in the fog of poisonous chemical fumes.
Alright.
Many aspirants fail here, and their creation emerges from its golden celestial sphere, a deformed monstrosity, filled with hatred towards its creator. It burrows itself into the alchemist's body to consume it from within,
Ew.
wearing its would-be master as a skin. The third and final test is its
what do they do
opening
with
the
it?
third eye, the key to cosmic illumination which allows them to see the building blocks of creation, and thus be able to ensure that the elements they use are in perfect balance. Those that fail, their final tests are horribly changed. Their third eye swelled to nightmarish proportions and melds with their original pair, driving the aspirant mad during the process of their deformation. They spend the rest of their pitiful lives screaming of the unseen horrors all now revealed to them.
Fable, they look too deeply.
Yeah, that's technically what happens when you try to gain knowledge and and this kind of stuff.
They open their third eye and they look too deeply. That's why it's so big for
Yep.
them. Oh, dear God.
Out of mercy, alchemists that fail in this way are often put down, but there are rumors of cabals of these living failures kept alive for reasons unknown.
Probably
An
for
alchemist that has
research.
passed all 3 trials is formidable indeed, a master of esoteric powers, able to control fire and ice, metal and liquid, capable of creating intricate mechanical devices and artificial life, as well as weapons of calamitous potency. In exchange for the freedom to practice their arts, the alchemists supply the Sultanate with the peerless Jabirian battle lions, and serve on the front lines where their devastating alchemical compounds melt the flesh from the bones of enemies of the believers, dissolving through even the toughest armor.
Oh, interesting.
They go by many names: Ghost
Oh, these
Wolves,
look cool.
the Secret Knives, Subtle Vipers, the Sultan's Wrath.
Cool.
Whatever they are called, assassins of the Sultanate instill terror in the hearts of even the most dauntless.
Look at them, Fable.
Assassins are a legendary order of
Ooh.
mystic warriors, notorious the world over for their esoteric arts and ruthlessness. Atop our foreboding mountain broods the Onyx Fortress, Alamut the Unconquerable. Behind its shadowed
I think
walls,
it's a reference to
great
the
secrets are
Hashashin.
hoarded by the ancient Magi. Some say that the founder of the Order of Assassins, Rashid ad-Din Sinan, best known as the Old Man in the Mountain,
Yeah, that's the original. That's the name of the leader of the Hashashin, the old man on the mountain. Who is a reference to, if you ever knew it, Fable, it's where we get Assassin's Creed from. Because Assassins, well, the name Assassins actually comes from Hashashin.
Alrighty.
Yeah. From what I know, they were actually involved in the Crusades. You know, between.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
still holds his court here. A preposterous
still
rumor,
alive?
naturally, since
I
that would
mean-
make him close to 8 centuries old.
It's possible.
Though the Ismaili sect of assassins is seen as heretical by many within the lands of the Iron Wall,
I
a
mean,
pact forged
wasn't-
between the Sultan.
didn't people want to study alchemy to try to find eternal life? Isn't that one of the the core principles of alchemy was
Is to
eternal
find,
life?
if I remember correctly, it's to find the Philosopher's Stone and to gain eternal life, yes. Or to create
Yeah,
the
so
Philosopher's
the
Stone.
fact that
Yeah,
right, and the fact that he said it's probably will be up to 8 centuries. I can see that being a thing here because they basically found ways to use alchemy.
yes, from what I know, there was a reason why they didn't like, in the old tales, why they the leader of the current, of the Islamic faith at that time didn't like the Hashashin because, the old man, the mountain, and them believed in a different part of Islam. It's been a while since I've learned these things, but, it's the difference between a Sunni and a Shiite. These are two different sects of Muslims, of believers in the Islamic faith. I would go into that, but we're focusing on Crusade. Well, I want to learn more about the Iron Sultanate. Sorry, guys. If you guys want to give us more information, I would love to hear it down below. I always read
Then
your
on the
comments.
mountain ensures that the warband of the believers often include one of these supreme
And I
killers in
fight
their
people.
service.
Mm-hmm.
Assassins are able to bend space and time using sacred rituals and powerful
What?
hallucinogens discovered by magi of the Order. With this esoteric power, they
Your armor
prowl
looks
behind
cool.
enemy lines, hunting their targets with merciless efficiency. They can seemingly appear in two places at once, strike an enemy with startling speed, and then travel back in time to a moment a few heartbeats before,
Wait, what?
safe from any retaliation. They do this in service of their Sultan, whose enemies they are charged to destroy in a form of ritual holy murder. To carry out this task, the assassins are painfully altered by many powerful unguents, chemicals, and potions. They stand much taller than a normal man and are many times as fast and strong.
Makes sense.
Though adept with all manner of weapons, assassins favour the poison blades forged in the unknown depths of Alamut. These weapons are imbued with the supreme poison, the milk of Manat, also known as the Cup of Death. A simple touch of these blades upon unprotected flesh is certain death, as the body of the victim turns black and rots from within over the course of
dear
several
God.
excruciating seconds. In chthonic chambers deep below the surface, generations of young assassins are raised, where they are fed an awful, bitter diet rich with strange toxins. Generation by generation, their tolerance grows, until the blood of these willing vessels is drawn and then smelted into a poisonous iron.
That's where they
The
get
iron
the
is forged
knives
into
for.
wicked, curving blades, and deadly spells of slaying are layered into each fold of the toxic metal. Finally, the red-hot blades are quenched in the venom of the pale, unnatural offspring of a basilisk and a manticore.
Wait, what?
Thus, the blood of the first generation of...
A basilisk and a manticore? You know what those are, right,
I
Phil?
mean, it made sense that they would.
They're both
Yeah,
poisonous.
they're. Yes, they're both poisonous, but they're also both creatures of myth and legend.
That wouldn't surprise me, but yeah.
assassins still lives to this day, growing more potent with each generation.
Oh.
The lands of the Sultanate are vast, and many armies can be raised from the multitude of the provinces.
Makes
But
sense.
one household in 20 is required to arm and equip a soldier to serve the ruler of those who believe. Most such soldiers are known as Azebs, meaning unmarried, as those with families cannot become Azebs. They serve as the light infantry on both land and the sea, as well as
They got a
guarding
cool
the Great
design.
Iron Wall against the heretic assaults. When an elite force is sent beyond the wall to strike the enemy or look for holy artifacts, the recruiters of the Sultan call for volunteers to join the leaders of such expeditions. Though the missions into no man's land are dangerous, there are always plenty of Azeb willing to step forward. There is fame to be won, and chance aplenty to acquire valuable loot. Weaponry of the Azebs varies a great deal, as they do not have access to the superb arms, armour and alchemical marvels the elite household troops of the Sultan such as the janissaries and the cataphracts do.
Okay.
Most carry jazales with a distinct curved stock. These are handmade weapons, and consequently they vary wildly in their construction. Jazales are very personal weapons, well crafted, and their distinct curved stocks are intricately decorated. These long arms can be loaded with all manner of ammunition, fire-roughened bullets, long iron nails, or even alchemically treated silvers of the Great Iron Wall. This makes jazales highly adaptable and less dependent on easily depleted ammo. Other weapons and equipment include curved daggers and scimitar's, pistols and sappers equipment. Armor is rare, as Azebs are often used by their superiors as light skirmishers to harass and tie down the enemies while the heavier troops close in for the kill. Their superiors see little reason to waste expensive armor on troops that fall in great numbers and are easily replaceable. Paradise awaits those who die for their faith, after all.
True.
Many Azebs meet a terrible end in the cruel wars in the trenches, and others return broken in mind and body. But there are always new, hot-blooded recruits willing to risk it all for the Sultan, a chance to kill the hated followers of Shaitan, and return to home as heroes with fabulous stories and glittering gold. Military expeditions over the Great Iron Wall into
Ew, what the hell? What the hell is that? Please tell me I'm covering. I'm not. I'll probably have to look away for this. Fable?
I think that's a heartbeat.
Yeah, probably, but that dude's armor is really cool. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to keep away this point. But the dude
Gotta
looks really
remember
cool.
certain
I know.
e
I
No
know.
man's land
certain
carry many
scriptures and
risks,
texture does have
and their
things like this.
Mm-hmm.
commanders are field officers known
They
as the
look so cool,
Ushbasi.
though. I wish I
They
could
are
show them.
expected to lead from the
Yeah.
front, and their selection is solely on merit, with no consideration given to family pedigree or wealth. Many are promoted from the ranks of the Janissary Corps. Their bodies are enhanced by the Jabirian alchemical arts and their minds conditioned by the mystics, allowing them to face any foe unflinchingly. The downside of the mystic mental hardening is their utter disregard for pain and their cold ruthlessness on the battlefield. Casualties, both their own and those of the enemy, as well as those non-combatants who believe, are purely utilitarian to the Ushbasi. For is it not just to send heretics to Jahannam, while the warriors who fall in battle will wake in paradise, as has been promised? Under the orders of a powerful Pasha or Emir, or even the Sultan himself, the Ushbasi assumes the command of an elite squad of warriors to fulfill their task, such as to reclaim holy artifacts lost during the catastrophic period when heretics took the Levant by storm.
Yeah.
Other times they are told to find and eliminate powerful foes, such as heretic nobles who were once subjects of the Sultan, but have since turned their backs to Allah. Ushbasi are equipped with superb armor of meteoric iron, the finest carbines gilded with silver and loaded with alchemical shot, and carry Khalij swords of the past heroes of Sultanate, where great deeds of old are inscribed with golden calligraphy. If they serve the Sublime Gate well, their name and glory will be etched on the blade as well to
I'm just
inspire
kind of
future
listening, which I
generations.
really should be speaking more, but the dude's armor looks really cool. Overall, obviously, he's a leading captain, but yeah. Overall, it's really cool. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The strongest carry
Okay.
the dreaded hand cannons, which double as deadly
Hand
halberds.
cannons.
If they are hunters of distinction, they wear pelts of their greatest kills, such
Makes
as
sense.
chimeras as cloaks, which offer protection from the powers of Shaitan. Success
sense.
brings Ushbasi the favor of the Sultan,
So there's
and along
chimeras
with it,
around.
honor, splendid weaponry of Damascus steel, gold dinars aplenty, and access to the wondrous devices and creatures created by the Jabirian alchemists in the House of Wisdom.
Wait, do they create?
Hunting is a noble pursuit within the ranks of the officer corps. And
I do
artificial
like their
birds of
weapon.
prey and automaton hounds double
Yeah.
as potent weapons of war.
So I think they create these creatures, like the harpies and the chimeras and whatnot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes it even more horrifying. How do they make these
And are brought
things?
along to the front to aid their masters.
Alchemy, dark
Due
techniques.
to the protection afforded by the Iron Wall,
Okay,
the
we can-
Sultanate has always maintained
brazen
excellence
bull.
in artillery. However,
Is this the kind of horrific stuff you
Brazen.
like?
Oh. Yeah, but maybe without the gun. Honestly,
Guns and
I
heavy
like
more.
the kind of horror versus stuff I like is more rooted in actual like fantasy, where like swords and magic. I'm not really the biggest fan about weaponry like that, to be honest.
You need to have a little imagination, Fable.
No, I know, but I don't know. To me personally, it feels like if you give an Eldritch Abomination like this a weapon, a flamethrower, it kind of cheapens it for me. I don't know.
Mortars that defend those who believe on the
I'm
ramparts of
weird.
the wall are far too cumbersome for small expeditionary forces. Thus, in the year of the Hijra 821, Sultan Bayezid III commissioned a new creature of war to act as living field artillery. To fulfill this decree, the Jabirian scientists of the Royal Artillery House have laboured for centuries to perfect the divine art of Taquin.
Really?
In their secret
Oh.
laboratories, they perform countless experiments, learning many precious and
Oh.
costly lessons in the process. They've devised many things, but none more clever or ingenious than the brazen bull, called Boga, by the
Called
soldiery
Boga.
of the Sultanate. The brazen bull is a monstrous being of immense
Yeah,
power and
it definitely
vitality,
is.
capable
Monstrous.
of tearing even the bastard child of a devil clean in half.
Damn.
The Sultan's armours equipped the bulls with heavy artillery that even the superhuman janissaries cannot lift, let alone use in battle. Flame cannons, volley guns, and holy blades blessed by the word of the Great Protector. Encasing its mighty frame is exquisitely decorated bronze
do like the
armour of
look of its armor.
price-hardened scales, covered in talismans of protection and the grace of the Creator.
Makes sense.
On the battlefields beyond the wall, the brazen bull is an awesome and terrifying sight. It is a single-minded, fearless walking bulwark, a tower and shield which the war parties of the Sultanate can rally behind. Such is the power of their weapons that the very earth shakes with their pounding, disrupting the enemy advance even when they fail to slay their target.
That's surprising. So, what did you think of the Iron Sultanate fable?
That was interesting. I still think it's weird. I still think it's kind of interesting that they literally create life from something to try to fight back against the evils, and the iron wall itself manifested itself one day. It wasn't built, it just went poof, I'm here now. That's your problem.
Yeah. It
It's
seems
very
to be that
interesting to
way.
argue with that.
It seems to be that way.
I mean,
Yeah.
they literally said it just manifested itself one day without any proper explanation. It's just here.
And it seems to teach the people some of their alchemic works. It's interesting, to say the least.
That's
Go ahead.
has to be a reason for why it's teaching them this. It's not nothing. Knowledge like this doesn't come for free. There's more at play here than meets the eye. That's for sure.
Yeah. And we'll see what's more playing next time if you guys want us to watch more. Remember, I don't know, 1K views, and we'll do another one. Anyway, we'll see you later. Have fun, guys, and I'm cold. There, guys.
Not being cold, man.
Oh
God.
my god.